going here in a second. Entire screen share. There we go. Okay, so that is going on the Google Hangout side. Just give everybody just a few more minutes to kind of chime in here. Roger, if you're there, I'd love to hear from you. Looks like you might be out in Los Angeles. I want to make sure you can see my screen, and I want to make sure you can hear me all right. Had a technical difficulty right before this and want to make sure that's been cleared up. So if you can hear me, chime in and just say hi. And if you there's also a chat box on the website on the right-hand side. You should be able to see that. If you can, just let me know. Looks like we got someone from Portland in. How's it going up in Portland? Who's this? Hey, Georgette, how are you? I'm good. What got you curious about joining today? Yeah, cool. Well, I'm glad to join. So I like to have a lot of participation. So if it's all right with you, I'd love to ask you some questions and go from there. Sure. Okay, great. We're just going to give a few seconds here to let one or two more people to join in. I had a technical issue right before this, and for some reason had to disconnect and reconnect. So I want to give everybody a fair chance to come back in if they got dropped for some reason. All right. And Georgette, are you able to see my screen right now? Huh, okay. Oh, Google Chrome to see it. Yeah, there's still a few bugs I haven't learned about, so thank you for letting me know that. So is it just like if you click on it, it says you need to have Google Chrome to watch this? Is that basically what you're seeing? Okay. Okay, no worries. I just like to know what's going on. It's hard to, with everything that's, yeah. There's a lot of pieces. There's a lot of moving pieces. And this one is pretty simple to work with on my end. And from your end, if you have got Chrome, it should be pretty simple too. So at least I know that, and I appreciate your honesty there. So, okay, cool. So, well, what I'll do is once we get started here in a minute, I will be asking the questions, and really just the questions and being honest with yourself is the biggest piece of the puzzle for you to participate in. Okay, so, all right. Okay, Gloria says it's not working. I can't hear anything. But she can see me. Well, if she can't hear me, but she can see me. Well, I hope she can read lips. Let's see, Gloria, if you're on Google Chrome, I need Google Chrome to hear and see. If not, I'll be recording this too. Okay. Let's see. So we've got a few people actually watching. Kate and John, you're on here too. I see you guys. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to make sure that this is recording, and we'll jump right in here. I'm going to turn off my email so that is not a distraction. So, okay. Get this all lined up. Whoop. Sorry, it almost disconnected the computer here. All right, so Hey everybody, my name is Bradley Thomas and I'm a life coach and I help people find their purpose so they can actually go out and make money doing what they love in their life and enjoy doing it. And before I kind of get started with that, I want to hit the record button on this software. So 1 second, sorry about that. I know. There we go, that's good. Okay, cool. So again, I help people find their purpose and I help them discover what all of that natural curiosity that is within them that they want to express naturally and be able to either help people or really whatever it is. And before I jump, into the how to discover your purpose, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and how I found my purpose and what that means. So I was actually in the corporate world for 13 years and I didn't enjoy, well, let me be completely honest. I enjoyed a lot of it, but there came a point where I was not enjoying it towards the end, and I wasn't feeling fulfilled in my life. I wasn't feeling like I was actually helping anybody. And what I was actually doing is I had bought my dream house. I had bought my a BMW. I had a lot of clothes. And really what I was doing is I was buying a lot of things and a lot of stuff to fill the void in my life of fulfillment and to be honest, so I thought people would like me because I thought there was something missing. And the reason that I'm telling you guys this is that because I know a lot of people go through their lives buying things and stuff just to fill a void. And my purpose is to give back my experience of what I learned. And the expression I do that is through life coaching and, obviously, on this webinar too. So as we go through this, we're going to go through 7 questions that will help show perspectives of your life, where you show up and where your purpose comes out of you. And through these 7 questions, I want you to watch and listen for the thread that keeps showing up as you answer these. So, so let's kind of jump in here and discover your purpose. So one of the first questions is probably one of the funnest, and that is, what did you actually love to do as a kid? And I'm going to go through these as I know them and show you through my story. So what I loved to do as a kid is I loved helping others. I loved making them laugh. I used to help run my mom's daycare business. And up until puberty, I thought I was going to be a priest at some point. But that didn't really work out. And when you ask yourself this question, just brainstorm. And there's no wrong or right. Just write down whatever comes to mind that you love to do as a kid. And if you're having any trouble, or if you really, really want to go to the full expression of this, is ask people who knew who you were when you were 3 or 4 years old. Logically, your parents, but if they may not be around, maybe it's another loved one, or maybe it's your older brother or older sister. Ask them who you really were as a 3 or 4-year-old, and ask them to describe your personality and what you like doing at that point, because that's going to give you a good insight of who you were before you knew anything else about the world, before you had any judgments about anything. And that will show up a lot of places in your life. And that will start to reveal some of what you know as your purpose. And once you have that question, and once you have that answer of, like for myself, helping others, why, what is the underlying reason behind that? What is underneath all of that? So I loved helping others because it made me feel good to see others, reach their goals, or just see others satisfied with helping them. It's just who I was. And Georgetta, are you still online? Is there anything you loved to do as a kid? Girls clubs? Uh-huh. Cool. Okay, nature and art. And what about those? What's the underlying reason why you love doing that, or doing some of those things? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, cool. You sound like you know a little bit of your purpose already, so that's good. So hopefully this will help clarify some things for you. Um, so question number 2. So what do you want to be remembered for? And this question digs a little deeper. And the reason I put it in here is because I believe a lot of people go through life and don't expect to die and don't expect that it will ever happen. And we keep putting everything off because we think we're going to have enough time to be able to do those really hard things later, or we'll eventually get to it, or life's just too hectic right now and my dreams can wait. But that's unfortunately not the truth. And as that time ticks away, so does, a little bit of our life at the same time. And when we really fully think about that, it makes us realize that we need to start taking action in our lives now and go towards the things that really make us happy and, really live fully within our purpose. So for myself, I wanted to help others, and I wanted to help, change the world one person at a time, by helping them live to their full potential and really being themselves. Now that's a lot to put on a headstone. But if this was my eulogy, is just, you could paraphrase that as just, I loved helping others, plain and simple. And with the coaching process, I help people see their own blind spots so they can actually, rise up and live the life that they've always wanted to. And the why behind that for me is because, I was stuck in this job, and even though I was making really good money and had all the things and the stuff, it wasn't fulfilling. It didn't give me the satisfaction, that coaching does, and that actually reaching out and helping someone does. It just doesn't give you that fulfillment. To empower, it doesn't give me that fulfillment of empowering others and helping them reach their goals. So that is one of the more powerful questions. And for me, it's always it's a driver for what I do, because I know that, time is the only resource, that we really have, and how we use it is how we live our lives. So is there something you want to be remembered for, Georgette? Okay. Yeah. Sometimes this one's, I was a story last week. I was giving this presentation, live, to a group of people. And one of the gentlemen looked up and he goes, "Do you expect us to answer all of these questions like right now?" And I had to take a step back. I was like, you know what? It did take me a few months to figure all this stuff out. So I guess not. So some of these questions will, and don't get discouraged if they don't come up right away. I guess that's the real, answer to this, is that these are inquisitive insights into who you are. And if it doesn't come right away, keep asking the question. And also ask your friends too, from their perspective of how you show up. And that might give you some other insights. But it's okay if you don't have the answers right away. Just keep coming back at it, and eventually it will start to show up and express itself. So again, once you do know that answer, what is that why behind it? And write these down, and we'll go through all of this, at the end, and start to tie this together. So the next question is the funner question, but also I think it's just as powerful. So it's called the $5 million question. And if I gave everybody on this call $5 million, and in order to keep this money, you had to do exactly what you love for the rest of your life. The catch to that is that you've already traveled the world. You've already helped out your family. You've already paid off all your bills. So it's that next day that you wake up and you go, what am I supposed to do with the rest of my life? And if you didn't have to worry about money, this is what this question's really all about. And for me, I have that adventurous person in me, and I want to go see, the rest of the world. And I want to help people, while I'm doing it. And it's something that kept coming up, and it kept coming up again time after time for me. As it says, I felt like I need to go see a lot more of the world that I haven't seen, and through that I can actually help people. I didn't know at the time when I answered this, or when I thought about this, that I could actually have a business doing that. But now I realize that, and it all lines together. And the why underneath that is that I just love exploring, and I love helping people improve themselves. So through these questions, you can kind of already see some of my thread, is that a lot of it revolves around helping people, empower themselves and reach their goals. And how I do that so far, that is through coaching and through some travel aspect. So Georgette, is there anything that you would do with that once you had that $5 million and you didn't have to worry about money for the rest of your life? Once you come back to it, it's a thinker. It is a thinker. So, okay, so let's move on. Say again. No problem. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so question number 4 is, what upsets you, what pisses you off, or what makes you cry? And the reason for this question is that what goes on underneath when something upsets you is that you really care about it. And for myself, there's a short story. When I moved back here to St. Louis, I was rehabbing my mother's basement, and I was asking her to help me. We were framing the stairwell, or she was helping me do, or get some tools or something. And I asked her to do something that wasn't really labor intensive, but she had never tried it before. So it was scary for her. And it was, I forget what it was, like hammering something or whatever it was. But she had just turned 70. But she was still moving around and doing her thing, and physically able to do what I asked her to do. I wasn't asking her to do anything way outside of her her abilities, but she wouldn't try. And I kept kind of trying to nudge her along and get her to do it, but she wouldn't do it. And it really kind of irked me. And I wasn't mad at her. I was upset at the fact that she wouldn't try something that on the other side of it would make her a better person. And that really stuck with me for a moment, because I was really doing a lot of this self-development at the time, and really working, on and within myself. And I realized this was a driver for me in a lot of areas of my life. I loved helping people become better versions of themselves. And it showed up that I really did care about that. And I really did care about, her wanting to, become a better person. And so it showed up, it manifested as, being angry that she didn't want to try it. And I never thought it would ever show up like that. So this question really kind of, comes from a different angle to highlight your purpose. And the why behind that is because I know people have a lot more potential than they actually realize. They just need someone else to help them realize that, or show them, or give them a different perspective of what they actually could be achievable. I believe so many people give up either on themselves or give up on a situation, when if they just had someone else along their side with a different perspective, they would try again and possibly succeed that time. Or maybe they screw up again, but they've got to just have to try again and again and again and again. And that's how I've done it in my life. And that's what I believe, is that as long as you don't give up, you can never lose. So again, what is the why underneath that? What upsets you, or maybe what makes you cry, and really kind of dig in on that to find out what is going on in there. Is there anybody else on the line that would like to, share what kind of ticks you off? All right. So question number 5. I'm sorry, is someone there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Who's this?
Hi. Yeah, this is Kate.
Oh, hey, Kate. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. Yeah, I think that's a really good point to look at what makes, what irritates you.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't really ever thought about that. I think probably jumping off of, being something to look at. I think, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head what it is that annoys me that people do, but I think it's sometimes for me it's like if people don't come through, and so but and I can see where that would be something that I have to helping people in my job or in my work.
Yeah. Yeah, like the follow through part. Is that what you said?
Yeah, following through. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and why is that important for you?
Because I think when people it might be not dissimilar to that story that you gave about your mom about
Mm-hmm.
when you don't follow through, you don't really get to feel the complete satisfaction or and potential that I guess that's what it is.
Okay.
I love that. I love that as a something to look at.
Yeah, it's just
What pisses you off is very specific. I wouldn't have thought of that.
I didn't think of it either until it happened. It's not until you start really thinking about what your purpose is, and then once you really start doing that, this one just like it was just a light bulb moment. It was like that shows up everywhere in my life. Why is that? So cool. Thanks for chiming in. Okay, question number 5. So this one is, what projects do you get lost in? And what I mean by that is that the projects that you forget to feed the dog, forget to feed the cat, forget to feed yourself, forget to feed your partner, you forget about everything else in the world. Everything else just kind of goes away, and you're completely lost in that project. Now, for myself, it was a lot of photography for a long time, and then I would just get completely lost in that. And then also in conversations of, when helping others. And the why, Travis, get out of here. The why for that, the why for that is that I just loved creating images, and that help people show, and I help people show how they look their best. And that was just another expression of me trying to help people, but I was doing it through photography. So really, like, that question is, what projects do you get lost in that you forget about everything else in the world? And why is that? Gabby, I got the dog barking. The UPS man just showed up. Actually, it's a UPS woman. So, 1 second. Hey, be quiet. Shh. Okay, so question number 6 is, what makes you smile, or what are you passionate about? And for myself, it's learning new things about myself and others, And that was always expressed within personal development work, self-help books. It was just something I always came back to and wanting to learn and dig about how to help me become a better version of myself. It's just shown up throughout my whole life. It's like, this is just something I'm really passionate about. And once I dug deeper into it, I realized, that it made me smile. And I was passionate about it. So the why behind that for myself was learning about myself and others. Makes me smile because I'm more of myself and I don't have to put on a front to express who I really am. Does that make sense? And anybody willing to jump in on what makes them smile or what they're passionate about? All right. So question number 7, as we're rounding down or winding down, is what advice are you always giving to your friends or strangers if you would actually see them on the street or have a conversation with people and they started talking about a certain subject and you almost always immediately want to start chiming in about, hey, you should do this and this, and I had this experience and I was able to overcome this with this information. What advice are you always giving your friends that it's hard for you to resist, not saying something? It's something you keep coming back to and you really want to help others with. Me, for myself, a little story, and that is that I was actually, whenever I would, let me just take a step back. So if I was in a conversation with someone at a party or in any type of conversation really, and they said that they couldn't do something. So say they said they didn't want to, or they couldn't run a marathon. I would almost immediately come in and say, well, not with that attitude, and I really wanted to help people change their perspective of how they saw their goal or their biggest obstacle in life, that if they were to change their mindset, they could reach it. They just have to come at it from a different direction or a different perspective, and they can actually, achieve it. So the why underneath that is because I just want to see others reach their goals that they don't think they actually can reach. And that kept coming up, over and over and again. And I didn't realize that there was a career path called life coaching where I actually get to help people until I went through the process of really answering these questions and taking the big step towards becoming that. So again, what advice are you always giving your friends and why are you doing that? So, write those down. And now that we have all of the 7 questions, I want you to take them and circle underneath, all those whys and see where the commonalities start to come in. For me, if we were to outline this, it would be helping others and travel and an adventure. And we're going to tie this in a second. So this value statement document is an alignment of your value. So what you do with this document is you take all of these and you label them 1 through 5, 5 being the most valuable, 1 being something that isn't as valuable to you in your life. So for me, independence, I'm pointing at the screen and I should really be using my mouse here. So independence, let's see, where is it? Independence, fun and adventure, family time, simplicity, all of those, sustainability, and contributing to a society and community, all of those are the values that I hold closest. And what we're going to do now is take all of those values and take your why statements and mix them together to come up with a life purpose statement. Does anybody have any questions at this point before we move on to the next one? Okay, so tying it all together, the threads. So again, through my, my story is I loved helping others, making others laugh, seeing others reach their full potential, travel on an adventure, exploring when people don't try, which equals more potential, helping people look their best and feel their best, personal development, and giving advice to help others. So those are all kind of the threads within my why statements. And we're going to tie those together to my value statements. So my values is sustainability, family, travel and adventure, continuing education. I forgot to point that one out on the other sheet. Helping others, and empowerment. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these values and all of these why statements and come up with a life purpose statement. So there's no magic formula, at least no magic formula yet that I've come up with. It's really a creative game of putting these words down on paper and coming up with an I statement that feels right by mixing these two words to get these two buckets of words together. So for myself, when I came up with this, I wrote this on my wall, over a year and a half ago, or I guess it's almost been a year and a half now, that I own a sustainable, creative business that allows me to travel, be close to my family, and helps people reach their goals. And through this, I have a sense of community, continuing education, and empowerment. So now I have a statement that I can use as the best word I can think of is like maybe a trace paper for any decision in my life. And if that decision aligns with this statement, then I can go forward and explore that option. If it's nowhere near this statement, then I know it's a clear no in my life and I don't have to even really explore it. It's just like, this doesn't align up with my values. It doesn't align up with, my purpose. So there's no need for me to actually go forward with it. So is there anybody, that's still out there that would like to take a crack and see if we can come up with a statement on your own or for you? All right. So if you have any questions about this, feel free, please reach out. This is what I'm here to help for. So if you guys have found this helpful and you want to make this, dream statement or lifestyle statement, your actual reality, I encourage you to go to my website now and schedule a free coaching session. And in this session, we'll actually walk through this process again and come up with your own purpose statement so that you can walk away having that direction in your life that you actually want. So you can start building, either the business or the life all based around this statement that really lights you up. So my website's theartofchangingyourlife.com and /next step. So theartofchangingyourlife.com /next step. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Do, do, do.